Today, my group and I will present our FIN534 project titled Financial Analysis and Prediction Report, Maybank versus Bank Islam for the period of 2022 to 2024. In this session, we will cover four main areas: our data collection, business analytic applications, a detailed ratio analysis, and finally our financial projections and what-if analysis.
I will show you about the data collection. This is data collection from Group Statement of Financial Position Maybank. This is data collection Statement of Financial Position Bank Islam. This is data collection Statement of Comprehensive Income Maybank. This is Statement of Comprehensive Income Bank Islam. This is Statement of Cash Flow Maybank, and this is Statement of Cash Flow Bank Islam.
So next is business analytic for Maybank. First is revenue. We observe a steady upward trajectory. The combined chart illustrates Maybank's ability to maintain top-line growth despite market fluctuation, with a significant peak note in the 2024 financial year.
Right now, I will continue, which is operating expenses for Maybank. As you can see in this chart, Maybank's expenses is increased from RM 5.75 billion in 2022 to RM 6.89 billion in 2024. These have three factors, which is the first one is technology investment, such as improving mobile banking service and introducing the money lock feature to enhance customer security. The second one, which is employee rewards, which large portion of expenses was used for salaries and incentive to motivate employees. And the last one, which is business growth, as higher profits and expanded operation naturally lead to higher operating costs. So overall, the rise of expenses for Maybank Malaysia have a long-term growth and emphasis.
Thank you, Muhammad Taufik. I will continue this presentation about business analytical application of net income for Maybank. So we go first to Maybank. As you can see here, it's increased from 2022 until 2024 from 16 million to 60 million.6, and it increased to 70 million.
So next is business analytic for Bank Islam. First is revenue. Bank Islam's revenue trend shows resilient. While operating on a smaller scale than Maybank, the bar chart indicates a very consistent income generation from its Islamic banking asset, which reached 96.7 billion in 2024. Okay, now let's analyze Bank Islam operating expenses. Looking at the trend from 2022 to 2024, the bank has maintained a very disciplined approach to cost. While specific line items are managed tightly, the overall cash flow from operating activities saw a very significant turnaround in 2023. Net cash from operations was at a deficit of 1.29 billion. But by 2024, the bank successfully pivoted to a positive 2.58 billion. This 300% swing highlight effective operational adjustment and improved liquidity management over 3 years period. Moving to the bottom line, Bank Islam net income shows consistent profitability despite economic shift. In 2022, the bank reported a profit of 500 million, which grew to a peak of 635 million in 2023, while there was a slight normalization in 2024 to 571.2 million. The 3 years trend remained healthy. Most impressively, when we look at the total comprehensive income, the bank jumped from 429.8 million in 2022 to over 600.4 million in 2024, proving its resilience and sustained value for stakeholders.
Now I will continue with the ratio analysis part. For profitability and sustainability indicator, it have three ratios, which is return on equity, profit margin, and return on asset. The first ratio, which is return on equity, as you can see in this chart, in 2022 to 2023, both banks performed well. Maybank record 15%, while Bank Islam was higher at 17.15%. However, in 2023 to 2024, ROE declined for both banks. Maybank dropped to 0.87%, while Bank Islam record a negative return on equity, which is negative 13.06%. So overall, this shows a significant decline in profitability, while Bank Islam facing a higher challenge and Maybank remain highly positive. Next, which is profit margin. In 2022 to 2023, Maybank record a negative margin which is negative 7.79%, while Bank Islam was slightly positive at 0.20%. But in 2023 to 2024, Maybank improved to negative 1.90%, but Bank Islam declined sharply to negative 13.31%. In conclusion for this chart, Maybank shows some improvement, while Bank Islam experienced a significant drop in profitability. This slide shows return on asset for Maybank and Bank Islam. In 2022 to 2023, Maybank record 8.47%, while Bank Islam performed much higher at 25.43%. However, in 2023 to 2024, the ROA declined for both banks. Maybank dropped to 1.45% and Bank Islam record a negative ROA of negative 15.53%. So, overall, this indicates a significant drop in asset efficiency, especially for Bank Islam. Now, I will give to the next presenter.
Okay, now I will talk about the financial structure indicator. The first one is current ratio. The Maybank steady growth, which is 60 and 70% points to a purposeful improvement and its short-term liquidity position. Next is Bank Islam growth in 2023 to 2024 was negative. It's suggesting a minor tightening of liquid asset in comparison to short-term liability. Next, I will explain about quick ratio. This metric shows that negative growth for both banks over the course of the 2 years. This is typical in the banking industry, where highly liquid cash-like assets are optimized, but it implies that both are increasingly aggressive with their short-term liquidity buffer. Next is net working capital ratio. The Maybank growth slow from 49 to 24%, but it remains strongly positive, showing a healthy cushion of current asset, while the Bank Islam dropped from the growth to negative 90 contraction, which could be a red flag regarding its short-term operational flexibility. Lastly is debt ratio. Maybank is a 2% increase in the debt ratio points to a minor rise in leverage, while the Bank Islam a construction of negative 0.72% suggests that the bank is either slightly delivering or that the asset base expanded more quickly than its debt during that time.
Thank you, Dini. Now I continue with the efficiency analysis indicator for both Bank Islam and Maybank. So we go first to asset turnover. So as you guys can see here, Maybank shows good asset turnover instead of Bank Islam, even though it's decreased from 17.66% to 3.41%. They show good asset turnover, unlike Bank Islam from 25.17% decreased to negative 2.57%. Okay, next we continue with cost per unit of capital indicator. As you can see here, Maybank of course the better one, because from 1.98% it increased to 9.34%. Unlike Bank Islam, it decreased from 7.92% decreased to 3.36%. So it shows that Maybank have good cost per unit of capital indicator. And lastly is financial sustainability. Of course, again, Maybank shows a good result, even though both get negative in 2034, but still Maybank shows a good result from 8.42% decreased to negative 4.45%. Unlike Bank Islam, from 6.66% decreased to negative 15.89%. So it shows that even though both decrease until negative, but Bank Islam have more low the financial sustainability. Okay, that's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter, Muhammad Iman. Thank you.
Now, I will present the solvency analysis for Maybank and Bank Islam, focusing on how they manage debts and interest. First is the debt to equity ratio. Maybank showed slight growth in leverage, with ratios increasing by about 2% to 3% over the last 2 years. This means they are using a bit more debts or deposits to fund their growth. Bank Islam, on the other hand, successfully reduced its ratio by nearly 9% in 2023, showing a stronger equity base before rising slightly in 2024 to match the industry trend. Next is interest coverage, which measures the margin of safety a bank has for interest payments. Maybank saw a significant drop of over 34% recently. This suggests that rising interest costs or lower income are making it harder to cover interest obligations. Bank Islam also faced a decline, but it was much smaller at 12.5%. This means Bank Islam currently has a better cushion to handle its interest payments than Maybank. This slide presents Maybank's 3-year financial projection based on 3 scenarios: normal, upturn and downturn. First, looking at the income statement, under the normal 5% scenario, operating revenue grows steadily from 38.4 billion ringgit in 2025 to 42.3 billion ringgit in 2027. Interest expense stays constant at 15.9 billion ringgit, which allows gross profit to rise to about 8.1 billion ringgit. Fixed costs remain stable at 6.9 billion ringgit and depreciation is low at 72 million ringgit. As a result, Maybank maintains a strong EBIT of 10.1 billion ringgit, with net income increasing to 10.0 billion by 2027. In the upturn 10% scenario, revenues grow faster, reaching 48.6 billion ringgit by 2027. Since operating costs remain unchanged, net income increases significantly to around 11.5 billion ringgit, showing strong performance during favorable economic conditions. Even in the downturn negative 5% scenario, revenue declines to 31.3 billion ringgit by 2027. However, Maybank still records positive net income of approximately 7.4 billion ringgit, which reflects strong cost control and financial stability. Next, the cash flow statement further supports these results. Under the normal scenario, cash flow from operations increases from 9.16 billion ringgit in 2025 to 10.09 billion in 2027. After deducting the 1.5 billion ringgit initial investment, the project continues to generate positive net cash flows each year. In the upturn scenario, stronger earnings lead to higher operating cash flows, rising from 9.5 billion ringgit in 2025 to 11.59 billion ringgit in 2027. This shows that higher revenue growth directly improves cash generation and strengthens project value. In a downturn scenario, operating cash flow is lower but remains positive, decreasing from 8.29 billion ringgit in 2025 to 7.9 billion ringgit in 2027. Despite the weaker market conditions, the project still produces sufficient cash to support operations and investment needs. Finally, the NPV results confirm the project's viability. The NPV is 23.0 million ringgit under normal conditions, increases to 35.4 million in an upturn and stays positive at 18.7 million even during a downturn. This shows that the project is profitable, resilient and suitable for approval under different economic conditions. That's all from me. Thank you.